Welcome to another deep dive, everybody. And this time, we're diving headfirst into the world of beauty pageants.
Ooh, exciting.
But not just any pageant. We're following one particular contestant in the Miss Universe Philippines 2025 pageant,
All right.
Yllana Aduana. Now, I don't know about you, but I'm already intrigued, and you sent me some sources about her background.
Yeah, what's interesting about Yllana is that she's not just some newcomer. She's actually got this really cool background as a medical laboratory scientist.
Wait, really?
Yeah, so we're talking brains and beauty.
Wow, a scientist and ain't he a beauty queen?
Okay, that's impressive.
Right. And that's not all. She's also won Miss Philippines Earth and Miss FIT Philippines.
Oh, yeah, hold on. Those are some serious titles.
They are. And to top it off, she even finished in the top 12 at Binibining Pilipinas.
Right, so she's clearly a competitor.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And I almost forgot she represented the Philippines at the Miss Earth pageant in Vietnam.
Vietnam.
And get this, she won the Miss Earth Air title.
Miss Earth Air. What is that, like an elemental queen or something? Uh-huh, kind of. The Miss Earth pageant is all about environmental awareness. Each of those elemental titles recognizes a contestant's commitment to a specific aspect of conservation.
So like air pollution or something like that.
Exactly. Yllana winning air suggests she really impressed the judges with her advocacy for clean air or something related to that.
Okay, so we've got a competitor who's driven, dedicated, and cares about the environment.
Yeah.
But you also mentioned something about her fans and how they're a big part of her story.
Oh, yeah. Her social media is blowing up. She's super connected with her fans, and that's where her announcement about joining Miss Universe Philippines gets really interesting.
Oh, what did she do?
Well, she basically addressed her fans' desire to see her in the competition head on. Like, she directly quoted one of their posts.
No way. What did it say?
The quote was, "I was listening all along, I heard you all, and I am ready for this journey with you all."
Wow, so she's not just competing for herself, but for her fans, too. That's a lot of pressure.
You can say that again.
Mm-hmm.
It makes you wonder how this fan connection might affect the competition, right?
Yeah, are Filipino pageant fans, like, super active or influential?
That's what we need to find out. Could Yllana leverage this support to gain an edge? These are the questions.
All right, I'm adding that to my list of things to watch for. But we can't forget the hometown angle either.
Oh, absolutely.
Mhm.
You mentioned her ties to Sinaloa, Laguna.
Yeah, she represented them twice before in the Miss Philippines Earth pageant.
Exactly. And now she's back representing Sinaloa again. But this time, on the Miss Universe Philippines stage, it says a lot about her connection to her roots.
It's like a hometown hero story.
Kind of. It's a key element in a lot of these beauty pageants.
Okay, so we have this image of her as this hometown hero. But hold on, you also mentioned two other contestants from Laguna, right? Eloisa Joad and Rendella and Carrig.
Yeah. It's actually a pretty unusual situation. We rarely see three strong contenders from the same province.
So why are they important to our deep dive?
Well, they kind of create this Laguna powerhouse situation, don't you think?
What do you mean?
Well, Eloisa's representing Laguna as a whole, and Brendolan's representing Los Baños. And the fact that they both went to Yllana's appointment ceremony.
Interesting.
It kind of hints at this supportive, but maybe also competitive vibe between them. Like a little friendly rivalry.
Wait, so we're dealing with a trio of beauty queens, all from the same province, all going for the same crown.
It's a recipe for drama, for sure. And it doesn't happen that often.
You're telling me, so what does it mean?
Well, for starters, it shows just how much talent is coming out of Laguna. And who knows, it might even shake up the whole competition.
Right. Do they see each other as allies or rivals? Will their hometown connection help or hurt them?
Exactly. So many questions.
This is what I love about these deep dives. It's like we're unraveling a story. But before we get lost in the Laguna drama, let's go back to Yllana. You mentioned her pageant history being important.
Oh, it's crucial. Her path to Miss Universe Philippines wasn't exactly a straight line.
What do you mean?
She actually competed in Miss Philippines Earth twice before winning the crown.
Wait, seriously?
Yeah, first in 2021 and then again in 2023. And we can't forget her Miss FIT Philippines win and that top 12 finish at Binibining Pilipinas.
Hold on, so she didn't win on her first try, and she just kept going. That's dedication.
Right. It shows her persistence and dedication.
So what did she learn from those early losses? How did those experiences shape her eventual victory?
Those are the million-dollar questions.
Yeah, that's the kind of insight I was hoping for. So to recap, we've got a driven competitor with a huge fan base, a supportive hometown, and now this whole Laguna powerhouse situation. I am hooked.
Me too.
Is there anything else we should know about her journey before we jump into part 2?
Well, let's take a closer look at those early Miss Philippines Earth attempts. What specific challenges did she face? How did she evolve between her first and second way?
Sounds good to me. Let's dive into those pivotal moments and see what we can uncover.
Let's do it.
Okay, so we're back and ready to dig deeper into Yllana Aduana's journey to Miss Universe Philippines. In part one, we talked about her background, her fans, her hometown, and that whole Laguna powerhouse thing with the other contestants.
Yeah, it's a lot to unpack.
But before we get ahead of ourselves, we need to go back to the beginning, like those early Miss Philippines Earth competitions. You said studying those attempts could reveal a lot about how she approaches pageantry.
Exactly. And the sources you gave me actually go into detail about her transformation between her first attempt in 2021 when she didn't even place, and then her second try in 2023 when she won. The key seems to be this intense focus on self-improvement.
Okay, but self-improvement's kind of vague. Give me something concrete. What exactly did she improve?
Well, for one, she sought out professional coaching after her 2021 loss to work on her stage presence and public speaking skills.
Smart move. You can't really get far in a pageant if you can't command the stage or give a good interview.
Exactly. And it looks like she also revamped her wardrobe and styling.
So she got a makeover.
In a way, yeah. It seems she wanted to create a more polished image that better reflected her personal brand. But maybe the biggest change was that she doubled down on her advocacy for environmental sustainability.
So she took that Miss Earth Air title to heart.
It seems so. She really made environmental advocacy a core part of her platform.
So she didn't just sit around feeling sorry for herself after her first loss. She took action, got professional help, and really put in the work. That's pretty impressive.
It is. It shows real drive and dedication.
But do you think this self-awareness and commitment will translate to the Miss Universe Philippines stage? I mean, it's a different beast, right?
You're right. It is a different competition, different judges, different criteria. But those core skills, strong communication, confident presentation, and a well-defined platform, those are essential for any pageant.
So basically, she's already laid a solid foundation.
Exactly. And the fact that she's shown this willingness to learn and adapt, that's a good sign.
Okay, so it sounds like this focus on continuous improvement is something to watch for as we follow her Miss Universe Philippines journey. But before we move on, let's talk more about the Laguna powerhouse thing. We keep coming back to it because it's just so unique to have three strong contenders from the same province.
We know, right?
So how do you think this will play out on the national stage?
Well, on a practical level, it means the pool of potential supporters and voters in Laguna is split three ways.
So that could be a disadvantage.
Potentially.
Yeah.
But it could also create this awesome sense of friendly competition, where each contestant encourages their supporters to rally behind the others, too.
Oh, I like that. Like a rising tide lifts all boats situation.
Yeah, exactly. But of course, there's always the possibility of things getting a little more tense.
Oh, you mean like a full-blown rivalry?
Well, the pressure to win is huge, and it could definitely strain their relationship if they let it.
Yeah, that's true. We've seen that happen before.
Right. So it's definitely something to keep an eye on.
Okay, I'm adding Laguna powerhouse drama to my list of things to watch for. But stepping back for a second, do you think this situation tells us anything about how pageantry is evolving in the Philippines?
That's an interesting question. It could point to a shift towards more localized support systems in pageantry. Like maybe there's a growing sense of regional pride that's driving more women from specific provinces to compete.
Yeah, that makes sense. Like hometown heroes rallying behind their own.
Exactly. It's definitely a trend worth following.
Okay, so we've got self-improvement, Laguna powerhouse dynamics. What about her advocacy work? You mentioned she's passionate about environmental sustainability, especially after winning Miss Earth Air. How do you think that will play out in Miss Universe Philippines?
Well, it's hard to say for sure. It depends on the judges and the overall focus of the competition that year.
Right.
But there's definitely a growing awareness of environmental issues globally, and we're seeing that reflected in pageants too. So Yllana's passion for this cause could be a big asset.
So you're saying it's not just about looking good in a swimsuit anymore. These contestants need to have substance too.
Oh, absolutely. And that's why understanding her commitment to environmental sustainability is so crucial. It gives us a glimpse into who she is as a person and what she stands for. What specific actions has she taken to support this cause? How does she talk about her vision for a more sustainable future?
Yeah, that's what sets her apart from the rest.
Right, exactly. It shows she's not just here for the crown. She's here to make a difference.
Okay, so we're looking for substance behind the glamour. But let's be real. This fat is a beauty pageant. What can you tell me about Yllana's style evolution? We know she made some changes after her 2021 loss. What's her look like now?
Well, from what I've seen, she's gone for a more sophisticated and elegant style.
Like classic Hollywood glamour.
Kind of. Lots of classic silhouettes and statement pieces that really highlight her natural beauty.
I like it. Understated elegance.
And here's another interesting detail. She often wears Filipino designers.
Oh, cool. So she's using fashion to celebrate her heritage, too.
It seems that way. It adds a whole other layer to her image.
So she's got the looks, the brains, the heart, and she's using fashion to tell a story. But what about the interview portion of the competition? How's she in that department?
Oh, that's a crucial part of Miss Universe Philippines. And luckily, it's an area where she's shown a lot of improvement.
Remember those public speaking classes?
Exactly. And it seems to have paid off.
Yeah.
Her acceptance speech for Miss Philippines Earth was really well received. People were commenting on her eloquence and how well she connected with the audience.
So she's got the whole package. Beauty, brains, heart, a voice, and a killer wardrobe. Is there anything else we should be thinking about as we analyze her chances?
Well, one thing that often gets overlooked is mental toughness. These competitions are intense. Long hours, constant scrutiny, tons of pressure. How do you think she handles stress? Does she have a good support system?
Those are really good points. It's not enough to just shine on stage. You have to be able to handle the pressure and stay focused throughout the whole competition. What do we know about her mental game?
Well, from her social media and interviews, she seems to have a very positive outlook and a strong belief in herself.
Yeah, I get that vibe. She seems very self-assured.
And she often expresses gratitude for her family, friends, and fans, which suggests a solid support network.
So she's got people in her corner. That's so important.
Absolutely. Having a good support system can make all the difference in navigating the ups and downs of a competition like this.
Okay, so it sounds like she's mentally prepared for the challenges ahead. But before we wrap up part 2, I want to go back to something we talked about earlier. That potential for the Laguna powerhouse to either make or break the competition.
Yeah, it's a really interesting dynamic. How do you think it'll all play out?
That's the million-dollar question. And it leads us perfectly into the final part of our deep dive. And we're back for the final part of our deep dive into Yllana Aduana's journey to Miss Universe Philippines. This whole thing has been a roller coaster.
It has.
We've covered so much ground already. Her amazing transformation after those early pageant losses, the whole Laguna powerhouse situation, her advocacy work, her style evolution. I mean,
It's incredible, right?
it is. But now it's time to talk about the main event, the Miss Universe Philippines competition itself.
The moment of truth.
So how has the competition changed over the years?
Well, it's definitely evolved a lot. While beauty is still important, there's a much bigger emphasis now on intelligence, social awareness. The ability to articulate a vision for positive change.
So it's not just about looking good in a swimsuit anymore.
Exactly. The judges are looking for a well-rounded individual, someone who can represent the Philippines on a global stage.
So someone like Yllana.
Potential talent and ambition coming out of that region.
It really does. And it plays into that whole rise of regional powerhouses that we were talking about earlier.
A trend that's definitely shaking things up in Philippine pageantry.
Okay, enough about Laguna. Let's get back to Yllana. What are your predictions for her? Can she handle the pressure and live up to the hype?
Based on everything we've learned, I think she has a real shot. She's got experience, she's articulate, and she's built a strong connection with her fans.
That social media game is strong.
It is. But let's be honest, predicting pageants is kind of like predicting the weather.
So many variables.
Exactly. You never know what the judges will be looking for or what will happen on the night.
So anything could happen.
Anything.
Mm.
But one thing's for sure, Yllana is a force to be reckoned with. She's bringing her A game, and I, for one, am excited to see how it all unfolds.
Me too. And regardless whether she wins or loses, her story is already so inspiring.
You're so right. She's proven that with hard work, dedication, and the willingness to learn from your mistakes, you can achieve anything you set your mind to.
And she's not afraid to use her platform to advocate for a cause she believes in.
Which is so important. It's not just about the crown. It's about making a difference in the world.
Well said. So as we wrap up this deep dive into Yllana Aduana's journey, let's leave our listeners with something to think about. What's the biggest takeaway from all of this?
I think the biggest takeaway is that success isn't a destination, it's a journey. It's about embracing challenges, learning from setbacks, and never giving up on your dreams.
And it's about using your platform, no matter how big or small, to make a positive impact on the world.
Couldn't have said it better myself. So keep following Yllana's journey, and remember, anything is possible if you set your mind to it and never stop striving for greatness. That's all from us on this episode of The Deep Dive.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep diving deep into the stories that matter most.